Skigh Athletics, coming to you to show you how to deadlift. Now, remember that when I'm showing you this lift, it's from an athlete's perspective. It's from what's worked best for me. So I deadlifted for over 3 years with a conventional deadlift. And I got up to about 455 pounds for a deadlift. I believe that's what my max was. And, which isn't terrible, weighing about 175, 178 pounds. But I wanted to take it a step further, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel explosive in the conventional deadlift. I didn't feel like it was paying off as much as it should have for how much I was deadlifting. So I switched to a sumo style deadlift. Now, if you watch the Skigh jumps, it's pretty much a similar position, same idea. I'm gonna have the bar right in front of me, and I'm gonna open up my feet. I'm gonna open up my toes, because with your feet forward at a sumo position, it's just not ideal, and you put tension on wrong parts of your body. So right here, I'm gonna open up my feet a little bit. My heels are a little wider than shoulder width apart. Now, I've gone extremely wide, I've gone pretty close. I tend to go with the in-between. So I'm not crazy wide right now. I could be closer, I could definitely be further. So just draw a line from your heel up to your shoulders, a little wider than that, and you should be good. Now, the main thing for a deadlift, whether you're doing conventional or whether you're doing sumo, is that when you start the lift, the bar should be against your shins. Now, why should they be against your shins? So if I'm in the sumo position right now, and if I go to pick the bar up from this position, the first thing that my body does, if there's a distance between the bar and my shin, the first thing that my body's gonna do, even if I'm down in this position and I'm perfect, is I'm gonna go forward, my butt is gonna go up, my chest is gonna go down, and I'm gonna pull it with my back. And that's when you see people get strains. You see a lot of people just lift for weight, and they don't go for a smooth, consistent lift, which will eventually build your max up more than if you just try to do it off adrenaline once or twice every couple months. So first thing I'm gonna do is get into my sumo deadlift position. Feet a little wider than shoulder width apart. And remember, you're doing it from the heel, not from the toe. That's when you do that's where you do the measurement from. And the first thing I'm gonna do is bring the bar against my shins. If you wanna wear high socks or pants that day, you can. I tend to get scratches just because I pull straight up and I try to go straight down my shin as well. So that's why you see some guys have marks or chalk on their shins. So you can do a straight up grip. You can do a reverse where one is a hook and one is overhand. This is a good way to go if you're, one underhand, one overhand. If you don't have straps, if you don't have chalk, great way to go. They tend to balance each other out. If I forget my straps or my chalk, or if I just want to work on my grip that day, I tend to start overhand and then I do go back and forth, both arms, one underhand, one overhand. Just so, personally, I like both of my arms to be just as strong as the other one. But, if you have a certain way that you go for your max, that's fine. But try to get a feel of both ways so you can see where you really get a great feel from. Now, the big thing is that you want to pull from your legs. Now, it's just like when you go to pick up a TV. So if you go to pick up a TV with your friends, now I mean the old TVs that weigh, 50, 60 pounds, if they're huge and just bulky, and you got to pick it up with a friend and it's just real awkward. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get wider than it because they were boxes, and you're going to get down low and you're going to lift with your legs, okay? And that's what you want to do here. And if you bring the bar right against your shins, it'll ensure that you do that more consistently, because you want to pull from your legs. You don't want to pull from your back. Your arms are there to hold on to the weight, and again, you want your shoulder blades back, but you're not pulling. My elbows aren't going to bend, especially since I deadlift over 500 pounds. I'm not going to bring that up and row it in the middle of the air. So practice it with the lighter weight. Make it easier on yourself for when you start moving up in weight. So right here, it's against my shins. I'm going down. I got a reverse grip, and I got one overhand grip. Now, a lot of people, the first thing that they'll do is they'll just look straight up. Now right here, if you do this, you'll feel the strain in your neck. If you pull a little bit, you'll feel the strain in your neck. Keep a neutral spine, and what I mean by a neutral spine is that your spine is going to be at a certain angle during this deadlift, okay? Now it's not going to be completely straight back, it's not going to be hunched over. You might be at a 45-degree angle, something around that. something around that kind of angle. So keep your neck in line with your spine. Don't look down because then your chest will go down. Don't look up because then you'll strain yourself with heavy weight. I'm gonna keep my head just looking a couple, maybe a foot and a half ahead of me. Okay? So I'm gonna get in this position. Look at how my shins are almost parallel with the wall, and I'm sitting back. You're almost in a squat position when you're doing the sumo deadlift. You're just pulling, so you're using different muscles. So right now, my shoulder blades are activated right now. There's no way I'm pulling this with my arms. All I'm gonna do is push from my heels, drive from my heels. If I weren't wearing shoes, you'd see my toes could be completely up and off the ground. Push from my heels, keep my shoulder blades back, and I'm gonna bring the weight up. Notice how it stays close to my body the entire time, okay? I don't start far away, so I don't bring it in and lean back like this. It's a straight line, so when I stand up, all I have to do is be in a straight line. I don't have to bring my hips forward and bring my back like this, because you will strain yourself and it will cause injury with heavier weight. Now when I go down with the weight, I'm doing the same thing but reverse. I'm starting to sink my butt a little bit, my knees bend, and it goes down close, and I'm in the same exact position. Now, if you do this exercise with shoes with thick heels, and look, I'm doing it right now. I wear Adidas basketball shoes. Basketball shoes have thick heels. Try to find a shoe that is worn out. You don't have to go out and buy lifting shoes. Buy a shoe that's get a shoe that's worn out. Get a shoe that's already flat. If you lift in your basement, go barefoot, but be careful about weight around you. I know some gyms don't like when you take your shoes off. Try to find a flat shoe. They could be Converse. A lot of guys lift in Converse shoes when they squat and when they deadlift. Don't do your jumping plyometrics in those shoes. But if you want to go get those flat Converse, that'd be perfect, because you want to be pushing off of your heel. You don't want to come up on your toes. The moment you come up on your toes and your knee goes over your toe, which is why I say keep your shins parallel with the wall, knee behind the toe. The moment that knee goes over, the tension and the pressure goes off of your quadricep. Well, in this case, goes off of your hamstring and your lower back, and it goes onto your knee. That's why people strain themselves. That's why some people, even if they're not doing competitions, because competitions, I know you wear knee wraps. Some people have to wrap up the knees because they say, every time I squat, every time I deadlift, I get this crazy pain in my knees. You want to make sure, neutral spine, shins parallel with the wall, and that you're sitting back. You don't want to start up in a position that will hurt you. Now, for heavier weight, and I'll make a video about this when I'm talking about maxing out, be sure that you are not just standing up and bringing your butt up right away. Again, I'll talk about this when I talk about maxing out, but for now, I'll just let you guys know, because it's important for doing this weight too. When I do a deadlift, everything is fluid, just like a jump. When I jump, everything is fluid. Right here for a deadlift, everything goes up all in one motion. So I'm coming up and everything else follows. I'm not going up in sections. And what I mean by that is, when I'm down here, if I got heavy weight on a bar, especially at a gym, the first thing I'm gonna do is make sure that my butt does not come up before the rest of my body. So if you ever go like this and you're deadlifting and you got some heavy weight on, and the first thing you do is pull and your butt goes up like this, notice how space is created from my shin in the bar. That's one problem that will lead to you pulling more with your lower to mid to upper back, which will cause stress on wrong parts of your body, which will cause you to strain muscles and even ligaments in your body, which should not be happening. So again, this is how to deadlift as far as what weight, what percentages, all in my program. Go download that on my website, www.skighathletics.com.